Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Look, sometimes you win some and you lose some on the recruiting trail, but I think maybe as fans, sometimes we put a little bit too much stock into wins and losses. And I don't mean the grand scheme of things. I think sometimes maybe if your coach is on the hot seat or you're looking at a coaching change, that's going to impact some of these high school prospects. But as far as a visit coming into town when Tennessee loses a game, particularly when it's an electric environment like it was Saturday night, dark mode, Neyland at night, big time atmosphere. I don't think wins and losses necessarily impact recruiting as much as some people might think. I talked about this going back to the 2023 Georgia game, a game that Tennessee lost, but George McIntyre was in town. David Sanders was in town, and so many people felt like that was going to impact their recruiting. Well, we know how that story ended. Both of those kids ended up on Rocky Top. So what about Saturday night, the loss to Oklahoma? What does this mean for recruiting? Well, the very next day, you can see this on the screen. Tennessee did get a commitment, 4-star offensive tackle. Princeton Uwafo commits to the Vols over Nebraska. He's 6'6", 302 pounds, out of Murfreesboro, Tennessee, ranked just outside the on 300. Comes in ranked 304th nationally. He's the 12th best player in the state of Tennessee for the class of 2027. So for that class, when we're talking about 27, we're talking about juniors. So a guy that his stock could go up or his stock could go down, but he was in town for the weekend, enjoyed his visit, enjoyed his time on Rocky Top, said the energy at Tennessee is great. I like the campus and the coaches. I saw practice back in September, and they really went at high tempo. That stood out to me as well. He says multiple coaches have recruited me at Tennessee. They all reach out, call, text, just stay in touch a lot. I love the way they recruit me. Now, VolQuest asked Uwafo what he was bringing to the table at Tennessee, said size and athleticism, just a dominance on the left side of the offensive line, technique and footwork. My hands, I have to get bigger, but overall, I feel like I could definitely improve on a lot of things. So again, Uwafo here in town over the weekend for the Oklahoma game. Did that impact his recruitment? No, he commits to the good guys. He is committed to Tennessee. They also got another commitment in the class of 26. We talk about the tight end prospects. Carson Sneed flipped to Florida. Need a tight end. If Tennessee could come across the right guy, the right fit, they're going to go after them. And Tennessee flipped 3-star tight end Luca Wolf from Cal. You can see the graphic on the screen there from Hayes Fawcett. It says breaking class of 2026 tight end Luca Wolf has flipped his commitment from Cal to Tennessee. He tells me for Rivals, the 6'5", 246-pound tight end from Vienna City had been committed to the Golden Bears since June. He says here, Tennessee is a great program. They have everything a young athlete needs to get to the next level. This weekend, I developed that this program is special. There wasn't one negative thing I could say about it. It was a great experience. He goes on to say, I'm a guy that is willing to be developed. With the resources you get at Tennessee, there is no excuse for not being the best version of yourself. So they get the best version of me, both in the pass and run game. This also means they get a versatile player that is willing to do anything to win. So a couple of commitments that were in town this weekend for the Oklahoma game, but also said you don't just win some, you lose some in the world of recruiting. Big-time prospect that's committed to Tennessee took a visit elsewhere over the weekend. What does that look like for the Vols? We're going to get into it. We're going to talk about it, but as always, I need y'all to do that YouTube stuff. Smash the thumbs up below the video. Quick, free, easy, helps the channel. I would appreciate it. If it's your first time here, welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. We're not experts. We're not insiders. We're not media. We don't pretend to be that. We don't sell you on that. What we are is exactly what you guys are. It's for the fans, by the fans. If you like it, subscribe, click the bell for notifications. You're not going to miss out when we go live, when we drop videos, all kinds of fun content coming your way. We do post-game shows after the games, tailgate shows an hour before kickoff, live streams throughout the week, and we're trying to drop videos every single day. But we got what appears to be some bad news. Let's go take a look at it. Legend Bay, 4-star athlete, took a visit to Ohio State over the weekend. And I'll be honest, man, when I saw this, I did not like it. I did not feel good about Legend Bay going to visit Ohio State. Now, if you're unfamiliar with him, he is a 4-star athlete, 5'9", 170 pounds, out of Forney, Texas, ranked outside the on 300, 371st nationally. He committed to Tennessee over Duke, Ohio State, Texas A&M, and West Virginia back in June of this year. The guy's got elite speed. He's versatile. He runs a 10.2 in the 100-meter dash, considered one of the fastest players in the class of 26. So if he does end up at Ohio State, does it hurt? Does it sting? Yes, it does. You don't want to lose a guy like Legend Bay, a guy that you can line up all over the field, get creative with, do all kinds of fun things with. You may even see, wait, he committed to Tennessee over Duke? Why would he commit to Tennessee over Duke? Well, they were recruiting him to play quarterback. And if you go look at Legend Bay's tape, you go look at his highlights from this high school season, he is electric with the football in his hands. Sits back there at quarterback, take the snap, and it's off to the races. He is creative. He makes guys miss. He's got elite speed. He is a gamer. But Tennessee recruiting him to play that wide receiver position. And if you look at the wide receivers that are on this roster and how young they are, as well as the receivers that we've got committed into the class of 26, if we're going to lose somebody, I could take losing somebody that Tennessee was recruiting to play that wide receiver position. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Are we losing Legend Bay? Is this something to be concerned about, something to be worried about? Here's the quote coming off the visit. He says, Ohio was outstanding. I see why they have a winning culture year after year. They mean business. They're very professional and values real elite talent. The fans and the coaches are amazing and showed me so much love. So again, is this real? Like the first question a lot of people ask me, and I got this a lot in DMs and comments. Boogie, did you see Legend Bay went to Ohio State? Is this a real visit? Is this something to be concerned about? Was he just going up there to watch a game? Was he going with a buddy? What was it about? Again, as soon as I saw this, didn't like it. I think this is very real, and it is something to definitely be concerned about. Steve Wiltfong put out an update, said the Buckeyes are trending. There's that magic word, trending. Up with the electric wide receiver target Legend Bay. The Tennessee commit was in Columbus this past weekend, told Rivals this morning a decision could come around the first week of the Texas State playoffs. So, again, we're talking about a kid that's committed to Tennessee, taking visits, and also talking about when a decision is going to come. I don't think that looks good for Tennessee. Sam Spiegelman over at On3 just a few hours prior to this video, he said electric Rivals 300 athlete Legend Bay spent last weekend officially visiting Columbus. The Ohio State staff knocked it out of the park with Tennessee commit coming out of Texas, and our intel points to the Buckeyes being in a strong position to potentially flip the 4-star speedster. Now, here's where there's a little bit of hope, a little bit of a possibility here. We'll see what happens. Sam Spiegelman goes on to say members of the Tennessee staff are expected in town on Thursday and Friday with a final decision not too far out. So Tennessee is going to go shoot their shot. Tennessee is going to go give that final sales pitch after Legend Bay takes the visit to Ohio State. Now, Austin Price over at VolQuest.com was asked about this on Sunday. He was having a little back and forth chat. Somebody asked him about Legend Bay and the visit. Here's what he said. He said, I always thought that Legend Bay would be hard to hold on to, but I thought it would be a Texas school. In this era, I don't think you ever get caught up on a player leaving or decommitting. You just go get another player. So interesting words there from Austin Price. Just go get somebody else, right? Is this about money? Does Legend Bay want more money? Everybody's got a price, right? Not to quote the $1 Million Man, but we're going to quote the $1 Million Man. Everybody's got a price, but also this coaching staff has a budget, X amount of money that they are willing to spend. How much money is Legend Bay worth to them in that slot position when you've got Braylon Staley right now who's out there balling out on the Biletnikoff watch list as a redshirt freshman? So you've got Braylon Staley for 2026. You possibly got Braylon Staley for 2027. Now, ultimately, I'd say Braylon wants to go off to the NFL, and he's probably going to have the opportunity to do that. But you got a pretty dang good slot wide receiver. But also now you got a little bit more money in your pocket. Where do you go spend that? And again, looking at the wide receiver position in this class of 2026, if you lose Legend Bay, guess what? The other 3 wide receivers you've got committed in this class are all ranked higher than Legend Bay. Of course, you got Tristan Keys, 5-star wide receiver, number 1 ranked wide receiver in the country. Celeste Moa listed as an athlete, 4-star prospect, ranked 52nd nationally, the 3rd highest rated athlete in the country. And then you've also got a guy that a lot of people are sleeping on, one of the earliest commitments, committed all the way back in October of 2024 to Tennessee. That's Tyreek King, another 4-star wide receiver, ranked 138th nationally. So you got 3 wide receivers, 3 dudes committed in this class of 26, all ranked in the top 150. I think Tennessee has done a good job recruiting the wide receiver position in this class of 2026. I don't want to see Legend Bay leave, but if he does, I think we'll be all right. What are your thoughts? Jump in the comment section. Let's talk about it. As always, smash the thumbs up on the way out the door. Go check out our merchandise. You can go to bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. You can also support the channel by hitting the join button down below. It's only $1. You can join our Patreon, be a part of game day chats, play a little EA Sports College Football with us, whatever you want to do. All the links to support this channel are in the description below. But that is going to do it for this one. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.